the 1700s, something unprecedented began in Britain that would transform human civilization more profoundly than any event since the agricultural revolution 10,000 years earlier. The Industrial Revolution didn't announce itself with grand declarations or single dramatic moments. It crept forward through countless small innovations in workshops, mines, and textile mills. Inventions that seemed mundane at the time, but would reshape everything. How people worked, where they lived, what they ate, how long they lived, even how they thought about time itself. A world where most people had farmed for generations, where power came from muscles, water, and wind, where goods were made by hand one at a time, was being replaced by a world of factories, steam engines, mass production, and wage labor. By 1800, Britain was producing more iron than the rest of the world combined. Its textile mills were destroying traditional industries across continents, and its cities were swelling with workers drawn from the countryside into a new industrial hell that was also somehow a path to unprecedented prosperity. Today, advanced AI technology allows us to transform period documents, illustrations, and early photographs into vivid recreations, bringing this transformative era back to life. Join me as we explore the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s, understanding how it began, what it meant for those who lived through it, and how it created the modern world. The Textile Revolution, where it begins. The Industrial Revolution starts not with steam engines or railroads, but with something mundane, making cloth faster and cheaper. For thousands of years, textiles were produced by hand, women spinning thread on spinning wheels, men weaving cloth on hand looms, slow and labor-intensive. Then, starting in the 1760s, a cascade of inventions transforms textile production completely. In 1764, James Hargreaves invents the spinning jenny, a machine allowing one worker to spin 8 threads simultaneously instead of one. It's simple, a wooden frame with multiple spindles, but it multiplies productivity dramatically. Suddenly, one spinner can do the work of 8. Within years, spinning jennies spread across Britain, displacing traditional spinners and causing riots as workers destroy machines threatening their livelihoods. In 1769, Richard Arkwright patents the water frame, a spinning machine powered by water wheels rather than human muscle. This is revolutionary. For the first time, textile production doesn't depend on human or animal power. Arkwright builds mills along rivers, installing hundreds of water frames in single buildings, creating the factory system. Workers come to the machines instead of working at home. The rhythm of labor changes from task-oriented to time-disciplined. You work when the machines run, not when the work is done. In 1779, Samuel Crompton invents the spinning mule, combining the spinning jennies and water frames' advantages, producing thread fine enough and strong enough for any fabric. British textile production explodes. By 1800, Britain produces cotton cloth at a fraction of its former cost, flooding global markets and destroying traditional textile industries from India to Egypt. But here's the paradox. These labor-saving machines don't reduce the need for workers, they increase it. The bottleneck shifts from spinning to weaving. Handloom weavers experience a golden age in the 1780s to 1790s as demand for their services skyrockets. But it's temporary. In 1785, Edmund Cartwright invents the power loom, a mechanical weaver powered by water or steam. Initially crude, by 1800 improved power looms are spreading, and the handloom weaver's prosperity begins its terminal decline. Walk into a textile mill in 1790, and you're seeing the future. Hundreds of machines clatter in enormous buildings, tended by workers, many of them women and children whose small fingers are suited to fixing broken threads. The noise is deafening. The air is thick with cotton dust that will destroy workers' lungs. The work is repetitive, dangerous, exhausting. Fingers are caught in machines, amputations are common, injuries frequent. But the pay, while terrible by modern standards, is often better than agricultural work, drawing desperate rural families to mill towns. The urban explosion, cities of smoke and squalor. The Industrial Revolution creates cities unlike anything in human history. Manchester, a market town of 25,000 in 1772, grows to 95,000 by 1801 and will reach 500,000 by 1850. These aren't ancient cities that grew gradually over centuries. They're instant industrial agglomerations, built in decades without planning, sanitation, or infrastructure. Walk through Manchester or Birmingham in 1800, and you're experiencing hell. The air is thick with coal smoke from thousands of chimneys, creating a perpetual gray haze that blocks sunlight and deposits soot on everything. The streets are unpaved, churned into mud by traffic, covered in horse manure and human waste. There's no sewage system. Privies overflow into courts and alleys. Water comes from wells contaminated by nearby cesspits. Workers live in back-to-back houses, rows of buildings sharing walls with no back entrance, no ventilation, often no windows except at the front. Entire families crowd into single rooms. Basements flood with sewage. The air is foul, disease is rampant, and life expectancy in industrial cities is shockingly low. Average age at death in Manchester in 1840 is 25 years for workers, versus 38 nationally. Yet these cities grow explosively because factories offer employment. Desperate rural families, displaced by agricultural changes, stream into industrial towns seeking work. They accept terrible conditions because starvation is the alternative. The population shift is dramatic. In 1750, 80% of Britons live in rural areas. By 1850, most will live in cities. The urban squalor breeds epidemics: cholera, typhus, tuberculosis, smallpox. They thrive in overcrowded, unsanitary conditions. Child mortality is staggering. In industrial districts, half of all children die before age 5. The industrial city is a death trap, yet people keep coming because the countryside offers no better prospects. The social cost: who pays for progress? The Industrial Revolution generates unprecedented wealth, but it's distributed grotesquely unequally. Factory owners grow rich beyond imagination. Richard Arkwright, the water frame inventor, dies in 1792 worth £500,000, equivalent to hundreds of millions today, accumulated in just 30 years. Other industrialists build mansions, buy estates, and enter the ranks of gentry. Workers, meanwhile, suffer declining living standards for decades. Real wages stagnate or fall through the late 1700s and early 1800s, even as productivity soars. Workers produce more, but earn less relative to output. The wealth flows to capital owners, not labor. The human cost is staggering. Children are stunted by malnutrition and overwork. Factory workers develop mill fever, bisonosis, from breathing cotton dust, coughing themselves to death over years. Women suffer reproductive problems from standing 14 hours daily. Life expectancy in industrial areas falls. The Industrial Revolution initially makes most people's lives worse, not better. Yet there's also resistance. Workers organize, though unions are illegal until 1824. The Luddites, skilled textile workers, smash machines in the 1810s, not from blind hatred of technology, but from recognition that machines are destroying their livelihoods and social position. They're crushed by military force. Machine breaking becomes a capital crime, and Luddites are hanged or transported to Australia. The benefits of industrialization won't be widely shared until the mid-1800s, when improved productivity finally translates into rising wages, better living conditions, and mass-produced goods affordable to ordinary people. But in 1800, industrialization looks like a disaster for workers, a windfall for owners, and a transformation whose ultimate consequences are unclear. The global impact: Britain versus the world. Britain's industrial advantage has global consequences. British cotton textiles, produced cheaply in mechanized mills, flood world markets, undercutting and destroying traditional textile industries. India, which had exported fine textiles for centuries, sees its industry collapse. By 1800, India is importing British cloth made from Indian cotton. Raw materials are shipped to Britain, manufactured, then sold back to India at prices Indian handloom weavers can't match. This deindustrialization is deliberate. British policy protects domestic manufacturers while opening colonial markets. Indian weavers, unable to compete, starve by the millions over the next decades. The wealth that would have stayed in India flows to Britain, enriching Manchester mill owners while impoverishing Bengali weavers. Britain's iron and coal give it military-industrial superiority. British warships, British guns, British industrial capacity allow it to dominate global trade and build the world's largest empire. Industrialization and imperialism reinforce each other. Colonies provide raw materials and markets. Industrial production provides the tools of conquest and control. Other nations try to industrialize but face enormous barriers. Britain guards its technological secrets, forbidding the export of machinery and the emigration of skilled workers. But industrial knowledge inevitably spreads to Belgium and France in the early 1800s, to Germany and the United States by mid-century. The Industrial Revolution, begun in Britain, will eventually transform the entire world. The paradox, progress and suffering. The Industrial Revolution presents history's most profound paradox. It creates unprecedented wealth, technological progress, and ultimately improved living standards for billions. Modern life, long lifespans, abundant food, labor-saving devices, mass education, global communication, all rest on industrial foundations laid in the 1700s. Yet it also creates immense suffering. The first generations of industrial workers endure poverty, exploitation, and misery. Children labor in mines and factories. Cities become toxic. Traditional ways of life are destroyed. The environment is devastated. Inequality reaches obscene levels. Understanding the Industrial Revolution means grappling with this complexity. It's neither simple progress narrative nor pure exploitation tragedy. It's both simultaneously. Transformative innovation and brutal exploitation, wealth creation and poverty intensification, human ingenuity and human cruelty, all wound together. The question isn't whether industrialization was good or bad. That's too simple. The question is, could the benefits have been achieved without the suffering? Could Britain have industrialized with better labor protections, urban planning, wealth distribution? Or was the exploitation necessary, the price that had to be paid for progress? History doesn't answer these questions clearly, but it shows that change is never cost-free, that progress for some often means suffering for others, and that the fruits of transformation are rarely distributed fairly without struggle. This was the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s, the transformation that created our modern world through innovation and exploitation, progress and suffering, human genius and human cruelty. If you found this exploration of revolutionary change compelling, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss what we're uncovering next. Thanks for watching, and remember, understanding how we got here helps us shape where we're going.